Good morning, students. Students, today we will continue with the chapter Science and Technology. We have already discussed the points about the various programs and the nuclear powers. We had discussed about Indian Atomic Energy Commission, then the Dhruva nuclear reactor, and also we discussed about the first nuclear test which was at Pokhran in Rajasthan, and the second test which was also been done in 1998. Okay, now we'll move further. Now we'll move to the missile development. Okay, the first missile was, we will learn, is Prithvi. Now in 1988, India successfully tested the missile Prithvi, and in 1989 the missile Agni. The entire world took note of India's program of developing nuclear missiles indigenously. That means when India did this test of these two missiles, that is Agni and Prithvi, they did not take help of other countries. They did it on their own. Integrated Guided Missile Development Program, that is IGMDP, was conceived by and carried out under the leadership of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was also the persons who were in this missile development program. Defense Research and Development Organization undertook the task of building the missiles. Prithvi, a surface-to-surface ballistic missile, was given to the Army. Prithvi 2 was given to the Air Force, while Prithvi 3 was given to the Navy. So there were three missiles of Prithvi, 1, 2, 3, and they were given to the first one was given to Army, the second was given to Air Force, and the third was given to Navy. So Prithvi had the capacity of carrying nuclear weapons of 500 to 1000 kilos. So it had so much capacity of holding the nuclear weapons. Prithvi could travel a distance of 150 to 300 kilometers due to the nuclear ballistic missile. So Prithvi could travel to how much distance? 150 to 300 kilometers in the sky. Then the next is Agni, the Agni missile. In order that China and Pakistan get an idea of India's missile strength and India's borders remain secure, Agni 1 was tested. Now this military missile had a range of 700 kilometers. Later Agni 2 and Agni 3 was also produced. Now as we see in Prithvi could not travel up to so much distance. It could only travel up to 150 to 300 kilometer. But this missile Agni, as you can see in the slide also, it was a big missile and it could go up to a range of 700 kilometers. So that was Agni 1, and later Agni 2 and Agni 3 was also produced. Now let's move to the next, that is Akash and Nag missiles. So these are all the missiles which India developed, okay, to fight against the enemies during any wars. In 1990, the missile Akash was developed to fire from land into air. So why was this missile developed? It was developed to fire from the land into the air. The missile had a capacity to carry 720 kilometer explosives at a supersonic speed and a range of 30 kilometers. So these missiles were very fast. It had a great speed and it could go to up a very great speed. The missile Nag was made in order to destroy the tanks. So there was another missile called Nag. Now why was this missile made? This missile Nag was made to destroy the enemy's tanks. You know the tanks, no? The enemy, to destroy that. It is of the fire and forget. Means once you fire the Nag missile, you just fire it and that will explode. India has militarily become secure due to the production of missiles. So India has so many missiles till now. As we see in Prithvi, Agni, then you have Akash and Nag missiles. So they are in the missile development, they are succeeded in that development. Okay, next we'll go to the space research. In 1961, Indian National Committee for Space Research NCSR launched India's first research rocket from Tumba Equatorial Launch Center in Tumba in the state of Kerala. So the first missile was done in the state of Kerala, that is in Tumba. In 1969, a indigenously built rocket Rohini 75 was successfully launched. Now, while doing all these things, the missile work or else the space research work or the rocket work, India did not take help from any country. That is why they are saying indigenously. Okay, they did not take help from any country. Just as the way just now we seen Pakistan was taking help from China, but India did not take help. They were asking help from US, but they did not help with them, but they were doing on their own. The next stage was the successful launch of the first Indian satellite Aryabhatta in 1975 with help from Soviet Union. This success proved that Indian scientists can indigenously build and launch a satellite. That means this proved that India do not need help from other country. The Indian scientists are enough. They can do the work on their own. Indian scientists were confident that they could acquire the technology for sending a message from the Earth station and to assess the working of the satellite. So they had done, all these Indian scientists had done this work that they could, from the Earth station, they could contact with the space research. Okay. Next is ISRO, that is Indian Space Research Organization. So after the success of the basic program in space research and rocket related project, okay, now India was succeeded in space research, in the missiles, in the rocket. Now Indian Space Research Organization, that is ISRO, was established on 15th August 1969. In order to carry out further space research, the headquarters of ISRO are at Bengaluru. ISRO activated the space station at Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh for launching our satellites in space. So ISRO first started in Bengaluru. Then they started the space station at Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh. For what? For launching the satellites in space. Then the next is Bhaskar 1. India launched remote sensing experimental satellite Bhaskar 1. Remote means which could go far. From the Soviet Union in 1979. You can see the picture of Bhaskar 1 which was launched in 1979. To observe various things on the surface of the earth by remote sensing technology. So from the surface of the earth they could see over there. That's how they use the satellite. This remote sensing technology would be useful for India's development by regarding water bodies, mineral deposits and forecasting weather. Now why was this satellite made? So that India could develop in different things like in water bodies. They could see from there the mineral deposits. The photograph taken with the help of this technology about the bowels of the earth. About the bowels of the earth means deep in the earth crust also they could see through this satellites. Environment and forest were important. Another area in which the information from this satellite was useful was oceanography. In 1981, Bhaskar 2 was launched from Soviet Union. So, in 1979, the Bhaskar 1 was launched. So, after successfully doing that satellite, then they started with Bhaskar 2 in 1981. Now, let's learn the next, that is Ariane Passenger Payload Experiment, that is Apple. Now, the first completely indigenous built satellite by ISRO in India was Apple, that is called Ariane Passenger Payload Experiment. Now when they started developing or started the work on this satellite also, they started doing on their own. They did not take help from any country. So this Apple was launched on 19th June 1981 from the French Guiana. Apple was beneficial in the field of education. The objective of providing emergency telecommunication services was successful. Now this Apple was a communication satellite, and what was its objective? This satellite objective was used during the emergency of the telecommunication services, and also it was beneficial in the field of education. So here we will end with this video. We will learn the next part of the lesson in the next video. Thank you for listening, children. Goodbye. Take care.